Hello and welcome to the first episode of Meet the Creator, a series that I've kicked off on the channel. And our first guest is going to be Mr. Hellhades, the Raid Shadow Legends extraordinaire. How's it going, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Yeah, I'm excited to be first guest on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, so basically what we're going to be doing today is deep diving into a bit behind your story as a creator and also your other endeavors, which I'm sure we always talk about, and just some personal stuff as well that I've always wondered about you, and then a few fun questions along the way. So I guess let's
Sounds
just
good.
start off with your origin story, how it started with the content creation and how you got into it and stuff.
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess it was for me. It was kind of weird because I remember it really well. I was on holiday with my family. Like I was
Yeah.
actually on holiday in this kind of all inclusive place in Turkey with my mum, sister, and her family, and my family. And basically, I was around the pool, and I was like, you know what? I might start making a couple of videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like as a hobby, I was like, I play this game a lot. I feel like I know the game really well. So I might just start putting a couple of videos out there. And I remember recording my first video and I was like, so nervous, like really nervous. I wrote this big kind of sheet out on A4. I was like, almost like reading it, like absolutely petrified.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's where it kind of started. So 4 years ago, put a video out and just I haven't looked back since really. Done a video nearly every day since. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember back in the day you had your no camera from when I was
Yeah.
first watching you. So what was actually your transition to turn on the camera? I don't think I've ever asked you this question. So obviously you was kind of just like a voiceover, as you mentioned, you was like a bit nervous kicking into it. So what
Definitely.
was the thing to put the camera on? Because it is a big jump for people that does content creation, right?
Yeah, and especially since I'd been doing it for probably maybe 4 months before I decided to do the camera thing, maybe even
Yeah.
more. But anyway, the real reason, the reason why I originally kind of went for camera is because I was talking to a couple of big wigs from Raid behind the scenes. So I actually had like I don't speak to them anymore, but I had like a one-on-one with someone who was like a director level,
Okay.
and I was trying to get into this kind of like shout out that they used to do, right? So it was like they shout out your channel and like people sub to your channel and they get rewards.
Hmm.
It's actually really good for a creator. And they said, look, we can't really do that unless you're on a face cam. We can't really do that unless like you're actually representing yourself in that way.
Hmm.
So that was it. I made the jump. I thought, well, that's a big enough kind of reason for me to do it because I thought, skyrocket the channel, got to do it.
Yeah.
But um, interestingly, it doesn't do perhaps what I thought it would do. That kind of shout out, other than a sub jump,
Yeah.
didn't necessarily like increase my views and stuff. But at the time,
So that's
it was
interesting. So
definitely
you
worth
so you
it.
don't feel like the views kind of was reciprocated with the big subscription growth at that time?
No, not at all. Like,
Okay.
I see it actually on stats. Like, I see it really easily. You get this massive kind of like jump of subs,
Yep.
but the views just kind of like carry on. So I've got like this steady growth of views,
I
but the subs
guess
kind of jumped and then stopped. Like, because they're not watching. A big jump of those subs were Russian speaking people that don't watch any of my videos. Like they're
I guess indirectly,
just
right?
a
When you,
number.
when you go into like a new scene or a new game, or the game's been out for 4 years now, I guess people are just driven towards the channel that has the most subscribers, right? So in that element, maybe that really did support your journey, right, with the full
Maybe,
growth.
yeah, maybe. But I think more often than not, because you don't see this kind of like big group of, oh, he's got that many subs, he's got
Yeah.
that many. It tends to be you search for a video
Hmm.
and you then look for the video that's got the most views. So it's like, okay, I want to know about this hero or whatever, or this game mode. I'll look to see if there's some credible videos that exist. And then I think you find the creator. So I don't think you really see sub numbers until you click into a video.
Yeah, that's interesting as well. Yeah, for sure. So outside of Rate, of course, you've got some other endeavors, Mr.
Yeah.
You actually founded HH Gaming and the Hellhades.com website alongside your partner Fiction, that I know
Yeah.
very well. Amazing guy. Actually, one of the most best person I've ever meted in this scene. Like, he is so down to earth, right? So,
For sure.
what was
Yeah.
your story with Fiction, right? Like, because not everybody becomes a content creator and then thinks, I'm gonna make a website and try go on this crazy empire journey. So, what was the kind of kickoff? And also, did you ever feel like it would get as far as it has in terms of viewership on the pages?
Yeah, so definitely I did not.
Mhm.
I remember, so basically, Fiction approached me originally and said, "Look, I'd love to do some." We were doing some stuff behind the scenes around. They were like, the raid competitions. Yeah, there was like a back in the day, like Gold Rush, where it was like try and get to gold in arena on a new
Okay.
account. And
Yep.
we did these various competitions, and Fiction kind of did a bit of work behind the scenes, like pulling together a website for that and just kind of like displaying some of the results and stuff. And then from there, he messaged me and was like, look, maybe I could work with you on some of your now production, some of your editing. And we started doing a bit of that, trialing some extra bits and pieces. And then he actually kind of pitched me and said, I think you could do a lot more if you had a bigger social media presence, website. And at the time, I actually said, nah, I don't really think that's going to work. Like I'd seen some other websites on the scene and
Yeah.
from creators, and it was like they weren't really doing anything. And it was probably about 3 months after we start to do a bit of work on it. It was like, you know what, if we're going to do this, then we do it like board. We go out and be the best website for the game. We cover visually the game better than anyone else, and like
Yeah.
there's all these different kind of factors that we kind of pull together, and then decided to found HH Gaming and kind of pull together this team for the website. And honestly, I mean, it was a ton of work. Like you see it now, obviously on a day-to-day basis for input and information. We had to do that for every champion that existed, including all the commons, all the rares, everything. We had to get a load of guides ready to go. We did work with the guys on the optimizer. Like there's all this stuff to do before we had a website, which I guess people perhaps don't appreciate. It was months of boring data entry, basically, but also trying to make sure that we were as on the nail in terms of like quality of that data that we could be. So it wasn't just drawing data; it was also like our thoughts on champions and stuff, which takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought it would ever be as big as it is. Like it's insane.
It's crazy. Even myself, like as an outsider looking in, until I actually worked alongside you guys at HH Gaming, I never realized how much work goes into certain things as well, because I'm not a huge website person, right? I never had any background in it. So like seeing every guide that people go and view on the page, like there's a bio on there, like Saf does an amazing job on like the ratings and the visuals, and things are always being updated. It's not just settle for second best. You always want to turn up the notch and make sure viewers have the best experience possible. So it's very admirable. So HH Gaming was kind of the start of the website and kind of a future endeavor after content creation. And now Mr. Hellhades decided he wants to make his own game. So he's kicked off with Fateless, right? So what? How have you been enjoying that? Because I thought it was a big kind of jump going from content creator to website and optimizer. And now you decided to, open a game studio and create a new game. So how has that process been so far? Obviously, it's new for you, being a first time.
It's been amazing. It's been really cool. We're working with Magic Media, who are a brilliant studio. So they've got fantastic artists. They've got fantastic developers. Basically, we're utilizing their team, but using our creative vision for the game. I've got to say, like, I'm hella busy. Like, I'm really busy. I'm doing obviously my YouTube. We're doing Hellhades.com, but in fairness, Fiction manages that kind of like the mainstay. And then obviously Fateless. So there's now, it's gone from me creating videos on a daily basis to also we've got a team to work with, and then we've got another team with Fateless, and we're talking to like big IPs, and we're working with Magic Media, and like there's a lot going on my day to day now. But I think this is what I do, right? Even if I think back to when I used to work in like hotels, and I started off as a waiter, and I was like I was like 17 years old, and then before I knew it, I was like supervisor, and then I was running weddings, and I'm sitting down talking to a bride and groom at like 17, 18 years old, planning their wedding, and they must be looking at me like, why is this kid talking to me about planning a wedding? Like it's just tends to be the way I go. Like I always kind of look for what's next, how do we improve, and this chain or this new business, Fateless, we didn't kind of take this lightly, really. This was something that we talked about for a long time. We made sure that we had the right kind of elements to make this stuff work. And then, it was it's probably about 9 months behind the scenes that people didn't even see around, doing all of the planning, doing all of like cost analysis, working to find a studio to work with. We went into investment. Like there's tons that have gone on to make this happen. But honestly, I feel like this now gives me like the next 10 years. Like this is like the future of what I will do. Content is the now, and Hellhades.com is the now. That will maintain over the next few years. But I think this is eventually what, when I'm totally grey and can't really sit behind the camera, this will be what I'm going to spend the time on.
Yeah. Okay. So we spoken about how much time that you spent there as well, and you wanted to go make another YouTube channel on top of that as well. Watcher of Realms. The man doesn't stop, guys. So
Yeah.
I guess
Glutton for
like you was
punishment.
one of the pioneers in the Raid Shadow Legends scene. That's what everybody probably on my channel knows you for. So what made you want to go to Watcher of Realms and, with all of this stuff going on, and kind of growing a new channel again? Like, congratulations on 10K subs, by the way, on that one. I'll leave it in the
Thanks, yeah.
description below, guys. But, going through that whole journey again that you've just done for 4 years of a different game, has to have took some balls, man, because...
Yeah, I did question myself on it, honestly. But so all of these things, like I'm quite strategic as well in my thinking. All of these things mesh together really well. So I didn't go into Watcher of Realms thinking I'm going to go and do something completely different.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of like, I'd say over the last 12 months, I've been looking for another game that I really felt passionate about and that I felt like I could do some good content on. But probably I thought I was just going to do it on my main channel, honestly, and kind of like cover two different elements on my main channel. It felt like this was different enough to warrant a fresh channel, but also felt comfortable enough that people that kind of came over from my other channel, they would feel good with it.
Yeah.
But also, like, Watcher of Realms, it's still in the same sort of genre as the game we're going to produce for our first game at Fateless. So, if I've got an audience with Raid, I've got an audience with Watcher of Realms, when we release a game, hopefully we're able to pull players to our new game as well. So that's the kind of strategic element.
Okay.
Honestly, I just love the game. And I figured, why not? Like, I'm playing the game anyway. Why not make some videos along the way and see if I can't kind of push another channel along? Raid's also having a bit of a dip. I'm not gonna lie. Raid's on a bit of a dip, and I don't want to be here in 12 months or whatever and think, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd changed to. I wish I'd made a new channel because all of a sudden it's not sustainable to just be a Raid creator or whatever. So there's a few different elements there.
Yeah, and we're seeing that kind of, I'd say one recent example would be DM, who we both know pretty well. He kind of dabbled around all these games, found his game that he really blew up in, so you just never know which one's going to be that for you, but obviously yours is Raid, but you never know if it can happen.
Amazing. Yeah, his is amazing.
It's inspiring to see that stuff because we actually seen it from, the very start, like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes into the next game and the next game. I was like, he finally settled on one, so it's pretty cool.
And also, like, in all fairness, like, awesome determination, right? Because he had a number of, so he left Raid, which was financially good for him. Like, he had good income from Raid. He then moved to a number of games, like probably 10 games or something. And he kind of had like boosts, and then it dropped off, boost dropped off. And then eventually he's landed one which he's landed a community. He's able to kind of do multiple games and still get good views. Like, for him, I'm super pleased for him because he's really kind of like come through tough experiences to eventually to kind of find one which has really worked.
100%. So actually, do you know what, I actually asked all these questions first for a specific reason. So with all of these endeavors that you've dived into, your HH Gaming, Fateless, Watcher of Realms, Raid, and everything else, you've obviously got an amazing family at home, your wife, your children. Where do you find that balance between work and then your downtime? Because when you got in a job like this, it's not like your general 9 to 5 where you work from this time to this time, you come home, you do whatever you want to do, in a sense, right? You're always on the clock. You want to be first to get the Discord news out, or it's kind of that kind of theme where it's like 24/7 on the go, and there's not really a specific time to a specific time. So is there a time in the day where you just be like, I don't care what comes out at this time, it's my downtime now, or do you just kind of go with the flow?
Yeah, so I mean that's been my weekends. So Saturday, Sunday, I try not to do any recording.
Okay.
Now Raid are kind of throwing a spanner in the works, so they decided they're going to start dropping Sunday news, and I'm like, please don't drop Sunday news. But yeah, basically what I try and do is I pre-record a couple of extra videos through the week, which then gives me my kind of like Saturday and Sunday covered. So that's what I've tried to do because obviously the kids are not at school Saturday, Sundays anyway.
Yeah.
I'd say the other thing which I've changed and had to change because of the extra stuff I'm doing with Fateless now is I just can't stream as much, which is a shame because I really enjoy streaming, but streaming is like a block of time where you can't do anything else. Like if I'm recording a video, I could
Pause.
record half of the video, and then if we're off to do something, I can go off and do it, um, and then come back and kind of finish the video. Whereas with streaming, it's like you're there for a block of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, through the weekends, I've actually we've got a really active kind of like larger extended family. Probably near enough every weekend. Either it's like a lunch, or it's a barbecue, or it's someone's birthday, or whatever. So always kind of together, which is cool. And yeah, I mean, and I guess little things, right? We always sit down and have dinner together at the table as a family, and we kind of talk through a day, and what's fun, what's going on.
Yeah.
Little things like that, which we actually started doing around COVID time, because before that we didn't. We just watched it in front of the telly, But now it's like at the table, it's a conversation. And just try and be involved as much as possible in everything that's going on. But it is tough. Like, I'm obviously busy, and you kind of have to make sacrifices in some ways to do this type of thing.
Yeah, 100%. So, also leading off into that, so I feel like you've spoken about mental health in the past in
Mm.
content creation, and I actually wanted to ask you about how does specific things affect you on a day-to-day basis, or you kind of thick-skinned in these elements. So, let's just say your like dislikes on videos, your analytics, videos going down, and we got that 1 out of 10 on YouTube, and how that affects
Yeah.
you when you're looking at it, or bad comments, because you're more in the public eye than someone like myself. A lot more views, a lot more social avenues. How do you kind of deal with that, or do you kind of have a lock off moment where you're just like, I'm just immune to this now, it doesn't affect me?
Yeah, it can be really tough. Like,
Hmm.
generally, I'd say I'm pretty thick-skinned. I'm able to kind of just shake something off. Like if there's comments which are bad, I maybe just to kind of look past them. Um, every now and again, one just kind of gets to you, and then
Yeah.
you realize you've replied to it when you shouldn't have replied, and all that sort of stuff. I'd say it's worse for Lady H. She is not good at this sort of stuff. She's not good with negative comments,
Hmm.
or with certainly personally negative stuff. Right? She finds that really tough. And more often than not, I'm like, don't reply to it. Like she'll get herself into like, oh, I'm just going to say this. I'm like, that's exactly what they want, right? That's exactly what
Yeah.
they want you to do, is to kind of get down this rabbit hole of replying to it. But it is tough. I've found hardest things that I've had to deal with is actually not where it's kind of like viewer comments. It's more if it's other creators in the space that feel like they're like attacking you, attacking your work, attacking your principles, all that type of stuff. That's what I found most difficult, honestly, and most, I guess, that affects me the most, like personally.
100. It is definitely an issue. Like, I don't think people on the other side kind of see it, because, like, you might think one comment is harmless, but then when you start adding that one comment's harmless 100 times, it's
Yeah,
like you can really, like, you can have 1,000 amazing comments, and that one comment can really put you down that day.
it really like
So
stands out, doesn't it? It's
it
just like,
really does.
and
Like,
yeah,
you can have 1,000 likes in a video and 20 dislikes. You're like, oh man, like why is 20 people not liked me today, in a sense? But I guess that
yeah.
just comes with growth, and not everything's for
Definitely,
everybody.
like
Yeah.
over time, that becomes less and less of a thing that you're looking at.
I
So
think that's where I'm in
certainly
the
early on,
phase. I'm in that
it
phase at
was
the
hard.
moment where it's like, when I was like a bit of a smaller channel, I'm still like relatively small, but like, when the likes are a bit less and the dislike ratio is way higher because you're not getting as many likes, and those kind of things used to
Yeah,
affect me. I think like one of the best things that YouTube did for content creators was actually removing the visible dislike on videos, because I felt like back in the day that would farm dislikes, because people would see the number and then they would want to just like add to it.
yeah,
I feel like it's
that's
affected
true.
it. Yeah.
I do remember when I first did an interview with Cirilla at Raid,
Hmm.
and there was this big. I don't know if you were playing at the time, but there was this big thing called Draco Gate, where a content creator
He
got a
got a free
free Draco
Draco.
morph.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got it like live on stream, so everyone saw it. And
Oh damn it, is it? I didn't know it was like that.
yeah, and
Okay.
and so basically, like Braid were getting absolutely hammered for this, and it all
Okay.
blew up. Like some other content creators got free champions and stuff. So anyway, I did this interview with Cirilla, and again, for me, I was quite new, and I was like, "This is going to be amazing. I'm going to get loads of views on this
Hmm.
this kind of big like interview of Cirilla, basically coming out with the truth of why these people got these free champions." Right? Didn't go down that way at all. People just used my video as a way to kind of like vent their frustration,
Oh
and I had
no.
this huge dislikes on this video. I honestly went to bed thinking, have I just ruined my channel? Like, have I literally just
Oh
destroyed my
no.
channel overnight? And obviously, it doesn't play out that way and stuff. But that's the way I felt because it was the first experience I'd had of like this massive proportion of people disliking, and you start to get all the chat like unsubscribe, blah blah blah, and you're like, wow, like this is not the way I thought this was going to go down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turns out, I mean, most people that write unsubscribed may have written it already 4 times before. Like they're still subscribed.
Yeah, they just want to have that train of like replies to their comment.
And but it's the way it goes. It's part and parcel of it, I guess.
Yeah. So all right, moving into a bit of a fun part of this before we go into a bit more of the deeper stuff, I guess. Okay, if you could play any character in a movie, who would it be?
That's a good one. Any character. I'm a big Marvel fan.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with my favorite first watch of any movie.
Okay.
Which is The Matrix, and I would be Neo.
Ooh.
Like, the first time I watched The Matrix, damn, I was blown away. I was just like, this is an amazing film. Like, I didn't even know what was going on half the time. I was just like, this is
It was just
cool.
like 3 hours of randomness. He's doing like he's running around is that the one with the helicopter, right? Where the helicopter comes from the glass.
It. Yeah,
that's a
yeah. And like the intro scene where it's just man, such a good film. The first watch was amazing. But
what did you think about what did you think about the latest movie, The Resurrection? You watched that one?
It's all right. I think
all right.
After Matrix 2, it's gone pretty downhill, honestly. Like,
yeah.
What about you? Are you a fan?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Matrix. I wasn't too into the final one. I think I started to like the actor for John Wick instead.
Yeah.
Changed. I still need to watch the 4th one. I think it came out for free on Amazon Prime today. So
right.
There you go.
Thanks, see you later.
Yeah. So all right. HH Gaming, if you had to describe all of the core members in one word, what would it be?
All in what? Going through one by one?
So just like the core members, the ones that maybe everyone knows.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with Mr. Lockers.
Lockers, I'd say totally relaxed. Yeah.
Okay. Saf.
So Saf, Saf. I'd just say Saf is like a cyborg.
Cyborg, okay. I'm sure you did. You like that.
Like, yeah. I'm not sure he's a real person, honestly.
Yeah, all right. So here comes the hard one. Make sure you say this quiet so the door doesn't come kicking down, Lady H.
Yeah, just gotta say the boss, right?
The boss. All right, and then fiction.
Fiction. This is not related to his work, by the way, but like we've been out a few times and he's been drinking. I just feel like I don't know. He's just such a happy drunk. Like
a happy drunk.
He like he chats to everybody. Like he's which is not like me. Like he's
So you say just sociable, as though
sociable. Yeah, that's there we go. Yeah,
happy drunk. We can't leave it on happy drunk for him. He'd be like, and then never.
Oh, never. I know him as like the grinder of the team in terms of like his gameplay. Like I've never seen someone just get through games so quick, so efficiently, all that type of stuff. So yeah.
Actually, Saf actually's told me the same thing, that whenever he gets a new game he gets a hold of, he's just like at the end before anyone else.
I just don't understand how he does it so fast. Like literally, even when we all do something together, every single game, it's like he's just twice as far as everyone else.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
It's crazy. And then last but not least, YST. What do you think about him?
YST, yeah, YST, and the Joker, yeah, no, Jack the Lad. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say that's real. Like I feel like you bring a lot of fun to the room.
Yeah, I'm definitely always in there, meeting rooms, 24/7. It's like the second I join the meeting room,
there's been some debate around secret affair between you and Saf because like Lady H, she's like, they're in there again. It's 11 o'clock. They're in there again.
Oh, that's funny.
She goes, hold on, there's two people in that room. I'm going to guess who it is. And it's obviously always you two.
Disclaimer to my wife, it's not true. She's probably watching this.
Yeah.
So, all right, if you could collab with any content creator, who would it be and why?
Oh, okay. Like any
content creator. It could be a movie star. It could be a YouTuber. Doesn't matter who it is. Just like one person in the world you'd love to collab with. You
know what? It's probably a bit of a crappy one, but I would love to do a collab with Mr. Beast.
That would just that's crazy.
No, but I would love to pick his brains. Like, I think his mindset is so cool.
Hmm.
The kind of way he's built his business, is way he builds his kind of channel,
Hmm.
teams, all that type of stuff. I think it would be an absolute like great conversation. Really, like, yeah, that'd be really
Yeah,
cool.
just being a part of one of those videos as well, super viral.
Yeah, I'd love it. I'd
Yeah.
just love to see like the whole kind of creative process behind it.
Hmm.
Um,
It's
and
very engaging the way he just keeps it snappy in between everything. Nothing's on the screen for more than like 2 seconds. It's just
yeah,
his.
but also like I don't know if you've watched some of his interviews and stuff. Like I just feel like he's just
You
a
understand. I
obviously
think there was a time
knowledgeable
where
guy.
I remember back in the
yeah.
day, he was telling the story of he was in like when he was saying he was going to uni or college, he would just be in his car researching the algorithms and YouTube, and he was like
Yeah.
addicted. So yeah, it's crazy, man. So that's actually a good one.
But
I never thought you'd say that.
A completely different angle to that. The Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
What's her name?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to collab with her as well. She seems
me
like
too.
tons of fun. Don't tell Lady H.
Do you know what she's actually? Do you know what? Just between me and you, don't tell Lady H. She's actually coming to. I think it's Manchester in a few months for Comic Con.
Is she?
Yes, so you
Oh,
can meet and
Comic-Con,
greet her.
right.
You can meet her there.
I'll see you there.
All right. So in terms of this is like completely on the other side, right? What's the most cringiest or embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you in content creation? Where it's like it could have been throughout a video, maybe an edit you forgot to cut out. Was there a moment that you were just like,
oh yeah,
for God's sake, I messed up?
I've got a good one, and I've done it a couple of times, but there was one time it was really bad. So on OBS, like recording software, I didn't used to have this Stream Deck. So Stream Deck, I press a button, it starts recording.
Yeah.
On my OBS, I had to click a button, and it was like click record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right next to record is a button that says go live.
Oh
right?
no!
So by accident, I've hit record and I'm doing like my thing, and I'm like made mistakes and like whatever, and I'm totally live. And then suddenly I start seeing like out the corner of my eye, my Discord's starting to like fill up with DMs, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I literally get all these DMs going, do you know you're live? Do you know you're live? You're live, you're live. And I'm like, oh crap. And then what I did was, instead of saying, oh, hey guys, what a stupid mistake, I just hit end.
Oh,
and then I'm like, I didn't even like tell her what's going down. So then I had to go live again. But once I'm like, it soaked in, I was like, I need to now go live again to tell people that were sitting there. Oh, sorry about that.
That's hilarious.
That was cringe. Yeah,
I got tears in my eyes after that one. My God.
Have you had anything like that? Have you had any like funny moments?
I don't think so. No, I can't recall any. Honestly, maybe I've just been too weary. I don't have a Stream Deck, so we can't have those problems around here.
And that got rid of that. The Stream Deck got rid of that.
Yeah. So in terms of this is like a personal question from me. What's your biggest fear? Like for me, bumblebees and wasps. You'll see me running them out, right? Is it what's like a fear that nobody would ever think?
Yeah, honestly, like probably exactly the same.
Bees and wasps.
I'm terrible. Yeah, I am awful with bees and wasps. I have anything else like that. No, that's probably my worst. That is probably my worst. Like, I don't know if you saw, I had this like swarm of bees.
I remember you posted a picture outside your house.
Came into my house. Like they
literally
came
were swarming
outside my house, and I'm like, I need to close this window. There's like a whole load of them, and then suddenly they all just kind of like came into like this kind of like part of our house.
Oh damn!
And that's where they lived. We had to get like people out to remove them. But
did you at least keep the honey?
Yeah,
you did. So you must like them a little bit then.
Yeah, and to get them out, they actually came with like almost like this infrared thing, because they see where the heat is of the hive, and it turned out it was basically like above my ceiling in the office where I record. But
oh damn! Yeah, you wouldn't catch me there.
Wasps more than bees, honestly. Like wasps for me.
Do you know what? Weirdly, I'm kind of starting to become the same. I was really scared of bees, and then I actually took the time to watch like I think it was like a David Attenborough thing, and like he was just there chilling in some field, right? And there was hundreds of them, and I'm like, none of them are stinging him. And then I found out that if a bee stings you, then they die, so they don't want to sting you. So then it's like bumblebees. If I just stay still, they kind of go away. Wasps, they're just vicious, man. If you got like if you're doing a barbecue or having a meal outside, those things are just. Yeah, man, they're all over it.
I've been stung, I reckon, 50 times.
Do you know what's crazy?
Like,
I've
a
never been
lot.
stung in my
I mean,
life.
I've been
Never.
stung tons.
Should I tell you
Like,
why I've never been stung? Because I'm not around long enough for it to happen.
well, I remember I was only like 10 or something. I had a wasp land on my shoulder, and I was on holiday in like Cornwall. And I looked down and I was like, ah. But I was literally just running round in a circle. Like, I can't run away from it. It's literally on me, but I'm running round in the
Oh
circle
no.
screaming. And like, I was there with my cousin on holiday, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, ah.
Oh, he's running as well.
It was just like crawling up as I'm running. It's just like
Oh,
walking up.
no.
I'm like, what? But yeah, it's irrational fear.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, man. So, all right, if you wasn't a content creator, right, and you can't go back to your old job,
Hmm.
what would be your dream job? If it was nothing to do with like gaming, like not like making
Yeah.
a game or anything like that, was there anything else that you had like in your mind that you'd love to do?
I mean, I've always loved sports. Like, I play sport for fun. I would have loved to have been any sort of sportsman, really, with anything like
Mhm.
football, basketball. It's not really a proper sport, but I love pool.
Yeah, I seen that you play pool. I could see you as like a pool player. Do you know, like watching
Yeah,
the
I mean,
the,
I've got
the Friday
starting
night
to get the
ones?
gut for it now. Yeah, no, I really enjoy pool. So I play in like a pool league now on a Thursday night. That's
Yeah.
You spoke about that kind of work-life balance earlier. That's part of my balance. Is I never do anything other than go to my pool match on a Thursday night. Like,
Mhm.
I don't schedule anything else in. But yeah, I played football like all my life, pretty much. That would be the dream. Almost like, and it has been the dream. You know, like when I used to do my old job and I was driving around, it's like, oh yeah, I'm still probably old enough to get signed. Like the dream of being discovered. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
got into the England team, and
Do you know what? Weirdly, you could actually like you could maybe host like a creator pool tournament potentially just for like in a live stream, so you can maybe
yeah.
reach the
Maybe that's
viewership
something
you've always
for
wanted.
Vegas, right? They must have tables out there.
They must do,
Oh, that should
yeah.
be cool.
That'd be pretty fun, yeah. So I've got a few more questions. I'd say one of them's gonna be, how important is it to you for like we're going to Vegas? Probably by the time people are seeing this video, like networking, like meeting new people for the first time, because as content creators, we're stuck up in our room, like speaking to a
Yeah.
camera by ourselves, right? Just hoping that the audience on the other side enjoys it. So like how surreal has it been for you to like have the pleasure of meeting other content creators? Like we've met Deadwood Jedi and Scratch and Nutbraids. Like it's
Yeah.
quite surreal seeing these people you kind of engage with over the years, right?
For sure, yeah. It's going to be really awesome, actually. So
Yeah.
I'd say I'm not good at just going and chatting to like random people.
Mhm.
So, and that's weird because my old job used to be sales, where I had to do that a lot. But with sales is I generally would pre-book a meeting, and then I'm in my element because I've got like something that we're kind of talking about, so I'm fine with that. But if I was in like the random room and I'm like, okay, I just need to go and network
Mhm.
with these people that I don't know, I'm not good at that at all.
Yeah.
But this is different because obviously over the years we know each other. We've done all these collaborations. We've been kind of covering the same stuff. We've got a lot of similar interests, and yeah, I can't wait. I think it's gonna be awesome to meet up with some of the other guys. It was great meeting Deadwood and Nutbraids and Scratch and some of the guys there. So yeah, obviously I feel like this is going to be the same, and it's even more extended because we've got kind of like the guys from Fateless there as well, and yeah, it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, it
Um,
is. It's gonna be great. Like, it's actually interesting that you said that because myself and you went to the YouTube Summit in London, right?
yes,
And we found it pretty hard to just speak to people that's not in our field. If you
yeah,
notice, we were kind of like
it's
everyone does
weird.
Minecraft or just something, and it's like when you try to have that conversation, it's like what are you speaking about here? Like we covered the game that everybody calls a meme, and they just do
The meme
sponsors for,
game,
right?
yeah,
Yes,
it's hard.
like I'm from Raid Shadow Legends. All right, dude, on your bike. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, it's like what for a sponsor? It's like no, that's what I do.
yeah, it's my full time,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So I would say just to wrap up here, one final question before the final question. What was your hardest hurdle that you've overcame as a content creator? Maybe something you was, a bit self-conscious about maybe, and you didn't think you was maybe good enough for certain things. Was there anything that you overcame to be like, oh, I'm kind of proud that I've overcome that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I did not think this was going to be a job that I could do.
Mhm.
I didn't see this as a job. When I first started doing it, it was literally, I'm going to record some videos because I think I know some stuff about this game.
Yeah.
And, one of the things I said before I started doing it to my family, I was like, I don't think I'm interesting enough. Like, I don't think I'm outgoing enough and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like that's something which I guess I've grown into a bit more, like being able to bring some of my personality across on the screen and that type of stuff. Um, that's unnatural. Like,
Yeah.
but basically, it's like as a creator, you're almost like always up a level compared to if we were just kind of chatting day to day.
Hmm.
Um, so that's definitely been something which I've had to overcome. I think as well, like yeah, probably going back to your point earlier, like being able to just deal with the negative stuff as well as the positive stuff. Like that's really difficult. In the early days as well, I was working a full-time job whilst doing this,
Hmm.
and like it's just the burnout. Like the potential burnout there is really high for anyone getting. That's the hardest thing with YouTube is it takes time to be able to turn it into a profession because you don't earn any money whilst you're getting low
Yeah.
views. So overcoming that kind of like period of time where you've got to do both things, it's really hard. Like
Hmm.
it's people don't appreciate that's such a lot of extra work that it's basically you're doing two jobs for however long it takes for you to be able to earn money.
Yeah.
And that's what most people kind of I guess would fail from.
Yeah. 100%. It's like it's kind of like a marathon, not a sprint, right? It's like it's such a long
Yeah.
journey. Like speaking for myself, who came in a bit later than you, like it took me almost 3 years to get to like uh, a place where I am now, like working alongside you guys on my YouTube channel. But
Mm,
I would say, like even for me, recently I had my first ever burnout. Like I would say towards the end of August, early September. And
sure.
I was dry. I was like speaking to fiction. Like I didn't want to go on YouTube and like just say stuff like, "Oh, guys, I'm burnt out." And
Yeah.
it was a pretty weird time because I was like, fiction, what is burnout? Like, am I experiencing this? I gave him like the symptoms, the list, like what's going
Yeah.
on, and it's a real thing, man. Like you're
It's
working
definitely real.
because
Yeah.
you're working
Yeah.
so hard towards something. You're talking about the same thing every single day, like hundreds and thousands of videos and collabs, and it's gonna get to you. Just like I need a break, man. It's pretty
Yeah. I
crazy.
mean, how did you like overcome that then? Because that's a real thing. I've gone through kind of like phases of that as well.
Yeah.
Did
Uh,
you just take a break? Or was it just like I just need some time off,
Yeah, so what
away
I
from
did
doing it?
was I was speaking with fiction. I've actually not spoken about this on my channel, so it's actually people might find it interesting. So what I did was I was just like, yo, I need to go away for a week, right? So what I did was I just went with my daughter to London. We went on like a speedboat. We went to, Tower of London, explored a little bit, went out for meals. And I think just having that family time was like what I needed. Just not looking at a screen, like not signing into Discord, not looking at, anything that's going on. That really helped. But then also I think weirdly enough, sponsors, because I never had sponsors for 2 years on my channel, and that was like
Yeah.
it's a good revenue source. And I think at the time my viewers are a bit down on rate, like a little bit more than usual.
Sure.
So I think like having the sponsors to take my mind away from what I've been doing for 2.5 to 3 years, because I've not played another game since at all. So it's like, oh, there's actually other games that's like pretty fun to play, and some of them I still play to this day. So I think just having that refreshing of doing something a bit different helped me out a little bit.
Yeah. I
So
mean, definitely that's how I feel with the Watcher of Realms thing, by the way.
yeah,
It's like, and that's why I decided to do a channel on it. I did it as a sponsor initially, and I was like, actually, I really like this game.
yeah.
So, I played Raid every single day for the last 4 years, and I still play it every single day.
Mhm.
It just gives me another like fresh kind of look of a different game, which sometimes is just enough to kind of like reinvigorate you.
Yeah, 100%. I think even that's what Vegas is gonna do for us as well. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk to everybody, get excited again, come back, and hopefully take everything down. So I guess that leads us into our last question, Mr. Hades. Been amazing so far. Where do you see
Thank you.
yourself in 5 years, and what advice do you have for any aspiring content creators coming up in whatever field they want to do?
Yeah. Okay. 5 years. So, as I said earlier, I feel like the longer term direction is Fateless,
Hmm.
and um, within 5 years we would have launched a game already, and
Hmm.
ideally be working on our second game. So I think it will kind of move into a role where I'm kind of maybe I'm still the face of that. I'm kind of like the face of the HH brand at the moment. I
Yep.
think I would continue in that kind of role in Fateless, and hopefully I'll still be doing content and I'll still be doing some of those type of things as well. But I think perhaps that would be the more the secondary thing behind working on really kind of creating a great business at Fateless. Um, and then I guess 5 years as well. Like probably one of my daughters probably would have moved out,
Yeah.
and my other daughter would be kind of like coming on 18. So
Hmm.
that's going to be quite a weird family feeling as well. In terms of going from a house full to potentially like much less people around. So that personally, that's quite a different thing that you'd have to deal with. Obviously, Lady H asking for more of my time, asking for more
Yeah.
lunches. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but going on to the second part of the question, I think in terms of like new creators coming through, like appreciate that, as you said earlier, this is a marathon. It's unlikely that you just kind of like hit the ground running and then you've got, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 subscribers. That's quite rare for that type of stuff to happen. It does great, but it's rare. So you need to kind of like get your mindset around. You've got to learn the craft as you're doing the craft. Find yourself a niche that you're absolutely passionate about. Don't just do something because you think it's going to make money, because chances are after 2 weeks you won't record another video. Set yourself a bit of a schedule of when you want to record and upload, and try and stick to that. So
Yeah.
with Fateless, for example, we're doing weekly uploads. Some of the guys originally were like, why don't we do 2 a week? And it's like, because I don't think we can deal with that. Like, and if you start slipping, chances are you stop uploading. So get yourself a schedule that makes some sense. And do things like this, like do collaborations with people in this space, learn from other people in this space. Don't be afraid to kind of reach out and kind of like check your ideas. Don't be afraid to look at other creators that have done videos on similar themes and find out why that was popular or not, and then do your own kind of spin on stuff. I think there's a lot that you can do, honestly. But yeah, the biggest thing is mindset around this is not just going to happen overnight, and don't think you're just going to be a millionaire overnight. It's hard.
It's
harder than you
interesting.
think.
It's interesting that you say that, because like I think everyone that I've kind of seen that's had like more successful channels than others was never initially in it for financials or to become a job. It was out of the love for content creation and wanting to do it. And that's kind of where I found it as well during COVID and stuff. But it's a bit off topic.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I guess like to end off this podcast here, we're going to be doing a part where whoever is my guest, I want you to ask a question to my next person, but you don't know who it is. So you can ask any question you want. I'll see it's from you to the next person.
Hey, God, that's hard as well.
It could be anything, and I'm just going to throw it in there. Hellhades said it.
Okay. So out of... No. Who is your celebrity crush?
Who is your celebrity crush? Oh, okay. So whoever gets the next one, I'll definitely throw that into there. But yeah, was there anything here you want to say or ask me any questions before we get out of here? Or
no, look, I appreciate you having me on. It's been actually really fun to chat through some of this stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, I hope you continue to do this type of thing. I think it's actually a really good direction. Really interesting. I love watching this type of stuff. So fair play for like diving into something new, I'd say.
Appreciate it. I'm scared to actually like do this. Like I took so much prep. I felt like I was day one content creation again. Like I've always wanted to do something like this. I've always been like a pretty good, well-spoken. I like to think so anyway. So, hopefully people like it. If you guys did, be sure to hit that like, subscribe button. I'll also leave a Hellhades channel in the description below. Make sure you get him to 10 billion subscribers. Let's go, Mr. Beast.
10 billion?
Yeah. And we'll catch you guys on a video soon. Peace.